His Excellency President Adama Barrow, Republic of the Gambia, #1 Marina Parade State House, Banjul, the Gambia. Your Excellency, the subject is petition relating to deteriorating governance situation in the Gambia. Concern Gambia, a civil society organization with a membership of Gambians living in the UK, hereby present this petition to draw your attention to deteriorating governance and human rights situation in the Gambia under your leadership. We would like to draw your attention to the 2017 change of government in the Gambia, which ended the 22 years dictatorship of Yahya Jammeh and the beginning of the Barrow-led administration following the December 2016 presidential election. We recall the years of advocacy by the Gambian opposition parties, the Gambian civil society organizations, and the support of the international community to keep democratic governance in the Gambia throughout the dark days of the Jammeh dictatorship. The aspirations of Gambians and the international community at large had hoped that the incoming Barrow administration would embark on a comprehensive reform to usher in good governance and democracy. Sadly, Barrow's administration was preoccupied with entrenching itself into power since the 2017 change of government. Therefore, the reform measures that were necessary for consolidating the Gambia's democratic gains were largely ignored or prevented from being implemented due to the fact that the administration deemed them incompatible with Your Excellency's ambition to stay in power indefinitely. The administration has also resorted to clamping down on dissenting views and resorting to arbitrary arrest of innocent citizens, contrary to the fundamental tenets of a democratic society. We list herein some of the major violations of fundamental rights of the citizens by your administration and poor governance climate prevailing in the Gambia that we fervently believe will retard the country's progress and put into waste the valuable material and moral support that our international partners are providing in the name of Gambian citizens. Number one, you meaning President Barrow, you have been quick to remove your coalition partners from administration and replace them with key officials of the former dictatorial regime of Yahya Jammeh. Number two, you reneged on the promise to serve a transitional president for a period of 3 years under a coalition ticket that led to your victory in the 2016 presidential election. Number three, the promise to pass a new constitution was aborted by your loyalists in the National Assembly because it contains a clause that limits the presidential tenure to a maximum of 10 years, as in the case of most ECOWAS member states. This happened after the constitution drafting process has been completed, costing the taxpayers staggering $116 million. Number four, not only has your administration dragged its feet in fighting against corruption, but it has also actively shielded individuals from facing corruption charges when they are supporters of your political party. Meanwhile, the public perception of increased corruption rises exponentially, eroding confidence in the public service, aggravated by you ascribing the Auditor General's report as a mere opinion. The proposed anti-corruption bill has not been passed nearly 8 years since you ascended to power. Your parliamentary supporters, in conjunction with the executive, have ensured that the most important clauses of the anti-corruption bill were removed or watered down, rendering it ineffective for fighting corruption. Number six, arbitrary arrest of innocent citizens and political opponents continue to escalate. This includes opposition members, media practitioners, and civil society activists. The chairman of the West Coast region, the newly elected elected opposition ticket, has recently been charged by a magistrate court purportedly for an offense that was already dropped by the police some years ago before he was elected. A civil society advocate, Madi Jabate, and comedian Alaji Bora Sisaho were recently arrested and detained in ways that violated their fundamental rights. The actions of the Gambia police force are violations of fundamental rights of these persons, contravening Section 19 of the Gambian Constitution. It also violates Article 4G of the ECOWAS Treaty, affirming recognition, promotion, and protection of human rights in accordance with the African Charter on Human and People's Rights. Number 7, you continue to make inflammatory statements that has the potential to not only increase political tension in the country, but also to undermine the rule of law. You call on your supporters to prepare for confrontation with the opposition, since they could rely on you for support. You also recently stated in a political rally that you would instruct the police to arrest critics, even if the court releases them. These statements do not only undermine the work of the courts, but also an abrogation on your part to uphold oath of office in promoting peace, equality, and defending the rule of law as enshrined in the Gambian Constitution. Number 8, your propaganda operatives, unlawfully appointed as presidential advisors and paid from consolidated funds, have also been threatening opposition party activists in the diaspora with arrest and detention when they step their foot on Gambian soil.
Thank you.
One such threat was directed at a female activist living in Finland by one Suleiman Kamara, one of your advisors suspected to have been granted British citizenship but currently residing in the Gambia.
Thank you. Thank you.
Public security continues to deteriorate with burglary, drugs and gun crimes on the rise. 2 policemen and a policewoman were shot while manning a police post around Sukuta traffic light on the 12th of September 2023. Both men lost their lives and the female officer sustained serious injuries. Meanwhile, the judicial system is crippled by the sheer weight of cases it handles, as well as your attempt to undermine the independence of the judiciary. On the other hand, the police are preoccupied with harassing government critics instead of investigating and prosecuting real crimes.
Thank you.
Based on the issues highlighted above, concern Gambia UK, call on the Gambia government and the Gambia's development partners to undertake or support the following measures to prevent the country from sliding back to dictatorship and for Gambia to regain its democratic status. Number 1, as a matter of urgency, the draft constitution be brought back to the people for a decision through a referendum. In the same vein, we urge the ECOWAS leaders to impress on President Barrow to declare his withdrawal from the presidential race of 2026, similar to President Sall's declaration to the people of Senegal. As this is the fundamental demand of the people of the Gambia, expressly stipulated in the draft constitution. This will bring Gambia's presidential term in line with majority of ECOWAS member states. Number 2, the Barrow administration to desist with immediate effect from all forms of arbitrary arrest of political opponents and critics. We urge ECOWAS member states through the Federal Republic of Nigeria to remind the government of the Gambia of its responsibilities relating to the protection of human rights under ECOWAS Treaty. Number 3, the government to respect the rule of law, including the separation of powers, and to desist from interfering with the work of the police and the judiciary. Number 4, to implement policies that will fight corruption, including ratifying the anti-corruption bill in a way that ensures its effectiveness in eradicating corruption and promote accountability in the public service. Correct. Number 5, we ask the UK Foreign Commonwealth and Development Office to note, with a view to acting on the activities of the United Kingdom nationals, particularly those previously protected from rights violations under the Jammeh dictatorship, but may now be aiding and abating state impunity in the Gambia. And that particular statement goes to Suleiman Kamara. Number 6, we hereby demand for immediate enfranchisement of the Gambian diaspora in the coalition in line with the coalition 2016 manifesto, which is upheld by a Supreme Court ruling. We submit this petition in our solemn belief that the requests herein represent the best options for the stability of the Gambia and for peace and progress of our citizens. Whilst we implore on you to take meaningful steps to provide remedial measures to address the above concerns, please accept our assurances of highest consideration and esteem, signed by Ibrahima Tunko Marena, on behalf of the concerned Gambia UK. This is copied to the High Commission, Nigeria High Commission in London, the Secretary of State, Foreign, Commonwealth and Development Office, King Charles Street, London, and the Gambian High Commission. Thank you for listening.
Thank you so much.